Welcome, everybody. This is episode 41 of DeltaHalo. Thank you for tuning in this week. This is a podcast all about competitive Halo and the HCS Pro League. MattyIce is with me this week. Cat is busy, but we've got the man that's cold as ice. What is going on, Matt?
What's happening, everybody? How's it going today?
Dude, I'm so stressed out from work. I'm just glad to be home and glad to be talking Halo because it's Monday, and it was a horrible Monday. I don't know about you, but it was rough.
Mondays are always rough. I can't complain. I'm just about to start the new job, so that's I'm an easy streak for this week and kind of getting everything ready. But poor Cat's over there working his way, slaving away. I stopped in and saw him earlier. He was looking all fresh to death and ready to sling some cars around, but
you'll soon know that feeling.
Yeah, right. So I'm good though, can't complain, ready to go. Got a little siesta in after work, and
must be nice.
A little siesta. Now I'm getting ready for the World of Warcraft Legion launch coming up tonight. So
nice. Do you have to work tomorrow?
I have to work at 3:30 tomorrow, so it kind of works out perfectly. Yeah, it's great. Nice. Convenient.
Well, what are they adding? You've been pumped for this DLC or this expansion for so long, and I don't know a single thing about it.
They're obviously adding, the usual Who in the World and stuff like that.
Yeah, right.
A new class, the Demon Hunter, and just the way they changed the game around quite a bit. They actually changed the game around a bunch of the mechanics around, like the engine, to actually make the Demon Hunter. So it's a much more mobile, less stand in one spot type of thing, as like the old engine was for a while. So they redid a lot of the way everyone looks when you're fighting and stuff like that. But
interesting. So is he melee or something, or what?
Yeah, so just the way when your paladin will run up and hit people looks different now than it did before.
Gotcha.
With the moves and everything. But the usual new content. They completely updated and changed the PvP system, which I'm pumped about. I think it's good changes, a little more friendly to the people like us who don't have a ton of time to sit around and grind honor points consistently. So that'll be something that I'm looking forward to. And
I don't know how I feel about that. It's great because we don't have a ton of time to play, but I also remember when we did have a ton of time to play and when you actually got certain pieces and grinded enough and won enough matches, like Battleground or Arena,
sure,
that you could get something. It was so rewarding, but it took far too much time to get anything.
It took way too long. And actually, last patch, they kind of made it less time to invest in it and still be okay, but still a lot of time. And back then it was cool because we kind of did have the time.
Yeah.
But now it was like a huge barrier of entry for me, especially. And part of the reason why I stopped playing completely was that I was just like, it's not. Yeah. I'm just not going to do that with my current thing. So
that and Halo came out, and we started ripping you for ever thinking about playing it.
Yep. So, it is what it is, and we'll see what it's like, and I'll just give it a try, a little college try going, and see what happens.
I'll give it to you. I'll let you go enjoy that experience, see how it goes.
I'm trying to get Cat to build a PC so he can play too.
His PC can't handle it right now?
I'm sure it could. I don't know why he says it can. I think he just wants to build a PC. But.
Yeah, well, understandable.
Yeah.
If you got the cash laying around, that's something that I want to do too.
Yeah, it's pretty sweet. So.
I know when we went to Gamers for Giving last year, that was the only thing I came away from that event thinking. I was like, I got to figure out a way to make extra cash to get a PC for next March when Gamers for Giving comes around again, because I actually want to have a PC for it, but we'll see if that happens.
well, you never know. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, you don't know where money will come from, I guess.
Exactly. Maybe Cat's selling your PC right now to get you something a little extra.
Hey, that would be quite a nice gift. I like that. But you and I hopped in game night last week. Had a pretty fun night. It didn't end up panning out how we wanted it to. All you ghosts out there who voted for competitive game night and didn't decide to show up. But
a little scared, I think, maybe.
No reason to be. We still had a good time. We had a bunch of guys hop on, some new guys hop on as well, which was awesome. Thank you, everybody who was your first time for coming out. That was a blast. And a lot of the same guys, Nameless, Beans, bunch of good guys came on. So thank you so much, everybody who did hop on, Roach. That was a ton of fun. But we got to get something going next time for the next one, everyone needs to hop on, because I was like, we were both stoked about it all day, tweeting about it back and forth, and then we ended up having a good time still. But I think
did have a great time. I mean, it doesn't seem like we did, but we actually had a ton of fun.
No, it was a really good game night. I mean, we ended up going, gosh, I don't even know how many matches we played, but I don't think we lost many matchmaking matches.
No, we ended up playing quite a few big teams too, but actually it was pretty fun. But I mean, even when we played both, big team and regular, we did have a blast playing it. And it was great. I mean, even afterwards, it was one of those things where we got done playing and stuff like that. And I was like, wow, that was super fun.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, which is something you're always looking for. You don't always know how it's going to be, and maybe next time more people come out, we'll get Cat to be in there too, and we'll be ready to go.
That's all it'll take is Cat's got to come back, and then it'll be all
I know, that's probably what it was. People actually don't like us. They just wanted to see Cat.
I guess.
They're just there for the Cat.
Well, thank you, everybody, for tuning in this week. If you found us on iTunes or wherever...
Osborne was the other guy.
Osborne. Yeah, that's right. Osborne. First time coming out. He was always wrecking our weekly challenges. So shout out to him for hopping in for some matches. That was actually tons of fun, and we'd love for you to hop on again, get some more games in with you as well. But as I was saying, hit subscribe, give us a rating review on iTunes, and let us know what you think about the show. Give us some feedback. We'll tune it up, keep it going, keep it getting better each week. And if you want to sound off on Twitter, get at us at part_time_elite, or get at us on Espawn, or send us an email. God, getting ahead of myself this time.
Yeah, you're just going with it.
Send us an email, espawngaming@gmail.com. And we're not twitching, we're not streaming this week, but typically every Monday night when we do have Cat, about 7 p.m. Eastern time, we go live recording this show, and you can tune in, ask your questions live, we'll answer them. You can see us going to town recording this, and it's a good time. You should come hang out. Next week, Cat will be back, so we'll have that live stream up, and we'll be sure to tweet it out when we are getting going there. But I do want to say, those Halo loot crates were finally shipping out, and we got all of ours. Hopefully, anyone out there that did pre-order their Halo loot crate got theirs. And if you didn't, I urge you, go to lootcrate.com/DeltaHalo. Use the code DeltaHalo, all one word, at checkout for $3 or 10% off of your subscription. And it's totally worth it.
Oh yeah, that's why we're urging you, because it's freaking awesome.
Yeah, did you end up getting the hoodie and stuff?
I did get the hoodie and stuff. Yeah, nice. So I was without trying to spoil it for people. I don't know if we're still in spoiler territory for it or not.
Good call.
We do have an unboxing video up there of Cat doing his stuff. So
yeah, go up on YouTube and check out Cat's. He's got his unboxing video. I'll have mine following shortly this week, and you can see all the goodness that we got in our crates. I don't know if you're working on one. You got one cooking?
I actually took one on my phone. I just have to try to get it to
nice.
Get it to you as far as that goes.
There you go.
But yeah, I was super pumped when I came home. At first I was bummed. Usually it's outside my door when we get the loot crate stuff.
Yeah.
I live in an apartment building, and I got there and I was like, looked around. I was like, Sean, there's no loot crate stuff. He's like, no. I didn't see anything. I was like, oh damn. He's like, unless it's downstairs. I was like, oh, I didn't see it, but I guess I'll go check. And I go downstairs to the little mailbox area, and I was like, oh, it's right there, sitting there. So I was like, oh yeah. Nice. And I mean, just an idea of like something. My cousin Tyler, the Mista as we call it. He was over hanging out. Him and Sean were playing some League of Legends, and I opened a loot crate thing while they were in the middle of a game because I didn't feel like I couldn't wait any longer. And then as soon as they got done, like I had the stuff over and I was pulling it out. And I made my video and everything, and I was all excited. And he's like, comes over. He's this big kid. He doesn't have a shirt on, and he's freaking hulking muscles flying everywhere. And he's like, dude, this is awesome. Like, what is this? This is sweet too. This is awesome and stuff. And like, yeah, he was super pumped about it. And then he I was explaining Loot Crate to him. He's like, oh, that's so cool. I'm seriously gonna go check it out. And he was, I think he did go and check it out. So let's see what he does.
Better be hopping on that.
I know, because it is something that's like. You don't think about it when you don't actually have the loot crate thing. Like before you get it, you don't really understand what it's like to get it, and once you do get it, it's sweet. So.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. But we won't go any more into detail with it. We won't spoil it. Definitely go to the site that we called out, lootcrate.com/DeltaHalo. Get yourself a crate and get some of that loot.
Das Loot.
Das Loot.
Yeah.
All right. So this past week, we extended the previous week's weekly challenge of 3 stickies in a single match. And we got a few entries last week. We got some more entries this week. Ghoul was going hard in the paint in every single match trying to get 6 because so many of us forgot that Cat threw out the bonus out there. If you get 6, you get 2 points. So Nameless was going hard in the paint. I didn't see anything from him that stated that he ended up getting these 6 points, but we did get some more people with points. Let's run down those real quick. We can talk about the leaderboard. Sparrow, back from vacation, got the stick, so he is sitting at 4 points. Osborne, again, he's killing it on those weekly challenge. He's sitting at 5. And who else we got? Nameless Ghoul getting that 1 point, so he's sitting at 3. And Beans as well, getting in on the action, is now at 3 points as well. So if you haven't had a chance to get in your into the weekly challenges, we will reveal what this week's challenge is at the end of the episode. So stick around for that. And all of these guys, everyone that submitted when they completed the challenge, they're all in the running for a DeltaHalo custom T-shirt that we will end up giving away here shortly. We've been kind of dragging the season out, but we will figure out what that date is when we draw the winner, and we'll pick it and announce it to you guys. And be sure to get your points in because every point matters, and you can have a chance to get one of those sick T-shirts.
Gotta do what you guys. Sometimes you gotta grind it out. It's just what it is.
Hey, oh my gosh, you gotta grind it out. You gotta risk it to get the biscuit, as they say.
Because you're out there grinding, as one DJ Khaled has so wisely pronounced.
Gotta always listen to the DJ Khaled.
That was Sergeant's theme song there for a while.
That was my song when we were playing NHL. I don't know, for some reason I couldn't snipe, so just make a grinder, go out there and pound people in the corners, and then put that song on while I'm pounding, and things are all good.
Look what you did, NHL and EA. You messed it up.
Yeah,
Look good.
It absolutely took everything out of it for me, but well.
Still kind of fun, but not quite what it used to be.
I don't know if it ever will get back to that former glory.
I don't think so. Well, what are you gonna do? YOLO. I'm gonna bust out the YOLO for some reason. I don't know why.
We're millennials. We can say YOLO.
I don't think we can. I think it just should not be said.
All right.
I'm gonna reprimand myself.
So we got some new news this week about the next upcoming free DLC from 343 for Halo. It is titled Anvil's Legacy, coming out September 8th. And first off, before I get into the details, I'm super pumped that they are continuing to bring more DLC each month. This is something that, this is past their planned schedule, their planned timeline of monthly releases.
Right.
And they say, you know what? We are still cranking it out for you guys. And I absolutely love it. I'm super stoked for this one, mainly because they're bringing a new arena map, which we know is good because it's from Halo 4. They are remaking Haven into the new map called Mercy with Sanghelios themed everything on the map. It looks really cool. And I mean, Haven played great in Halo 4. I was tweeting a little bit about this last week that I felt like that was the only map that was coming up at all in Halo 4 in matchmaking. It was weighted so heavily. So everyone's going to have a ton of experience on it. I don't know about you because you didn't play very much, but
no, that was my favorite map from Halo 4. So, I will say that for what it's worth, didn't play Halo 4 that much comparatively. Actually, I think I was probably right on par with most of the community. But
I'll give you that.
You're in Cat's level. But yeah, it was my favorite map probably from Halo 4, so super pumped about it. Can't wait to see how it plays. And it's always a big question I have, too, with Halo 5 is, the game does play different. So, I always question whether, not question, but because it's not like a concern I have, so I think it'll be cool either way. But I wonder, if it's going to be play differently or play as well.
Yeah, I mean, that's a great point. Remakes are tough, especially coming from a game like Halo 4 where you didn't have clamber, you didn't have any of those abilities. It
Right.
completely changes what's possible. Because I remember in Haven on Halo 4, you could be bottom mid and be sprinting up the pillars bottom mid to top mid, and that was one of those jumps where it's like, ooh, this is awesome, because you kind of needed to know about it to do it. And right now you could easily do it with thrust, clamber, any of them. I mean, it'd be so simple now. So I'm really interested to see what other kind of movement, map traversal areas that they either added into it or
Right.
were already there from Halo 4 and will now be able to be used.
Sure, and I think it'll actually play good too with Halo 5 and clamber and boost and everything else. So I think that'll be fun.
I
I'm
hope
excited
so.
for it.
I hope so.
But I'm like super pumped for this DLC patch and that map and everything. I was thinking about it the other day. Really excited.
It's gonna be a good one. I mean, they're bringing some awesome weapon skins too. They look like Tron weapons, like
Tron.
light pistols or light weapons, whatever
Sure.
the hell they're called from Tron.
Why not?
The cool thing about that is Vito kind of mocked those up on his own Twitter. He tweeted those out a while ago.
Nice.
And 343 is like, hey, those actually look pretty sweet. Let's actually bring those into the game, and they are. So we're really stoked about that one. I think that's going to be one of the cooler past the Boomco pistol. I'm still rocking that skin, but I've been looking for a replacement. I think this might be it.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely think it has potential, so super cool. And more to your point, too, about earlier, I forgot to mention, I wanted to say, about the DLC, they're still bringing DLC out. Awesome. I mean, props to 343 for doing it. And my hope is that, they're going to go to a year for launch, and then just here's like an expansion pack level of content that we can pay for, essentially. I think that'd be sweet. I don't know. No, you don't like it? I think,
don't know. It would have to be a lot.
But that's what maybe that's what I mean. Maybe something like add some more single player stuff into it. Obviously, cool. Since we haven't heard anything about it, it's probably at this point too late. It's definitely too late. But I think, regardless of whether it's a year in or something like that, is it when did Halo? I can't remember when it released. When did it release? In October?
That's what I'm thinking. October of last year,
I think. No, and I do want to see something. I want to see almost like Destiny does with their expansion pack. I want to see something like that. Maybe if it's not that level of like paying $50 for an expansion, maybe $30. Call it an expansion. Put a bunch of stuff in there. Do a bigger one-time thing to get people back in the game, get some money back into 343 and stuff like that. I mean, it's been enough time that I will not bitch one tiny bit about paying for DLC, and that's a rarity for me because I always hated paying for DLC and maps and stuff like that. But since they've been giving us so much stuff, I think it'd be sweet if they really put a huge influx of maps and maybe even some more game types or something like that into the game, call it an expansion, some horde mode or something like that, along those lines, and something like that. I'd love to see something, 343 do something along those lines. But
yeah, I think that would be interesting. It would be worth it for me if they added some more campaign into it, more single player campaign. But at the same time, I feel like they need to start fresh with Halo 6 with how badly they butchered Halo 5's campaign. But it would be cool. It'd be interesting to if they were able to add something in that was like, all right, this was messed up. Let's give a little bit of glimpse into what Halo 6 is going to be all about, because Halo 5 did end on a bit of a cliffhanger when they jumped to slip space when Cortana was like going nuts, and that was an interesting end. So it'd be crazy to see what they do with that.
I mean, and Halo's all about their cliffhanger endings and stuff like that. They've always been that way. But it would be cool, even whether it's just like a new character they introduced that's a couple, 10 episodic missions or something like that you can throw in there. And
they could even do like Spartan Lock. They could do like some Lock side missions, because I'd be fine with that. Like keep Master Chief for the main campaign. Give me some side missions with Lock. If I just so happen to go into find some Flood and die and never bring Lock back for Halo 6, I'd be fine with that too. But But anything like that would be pretty cool, as long as it doesn't necessarily progress the main storyline a ton, but you're kind of seeing some more happening on the side that's fun.
Right, exactly. There's got to be stories to tell on the side of it that you can throw out there for some, because I mean, Halo does have a giant lack of single-player content, pretty much. I mean, the Warzone kind of does throw it in there, but kind of doesn't, and Firefight does it a little bit, but I mean, it's still not a single-player experience at all, and I think it's a good way to get some money for them to make some money and to bring some people back in, and who knows what it could be. I don't know. It's just something I thought of the other day, and I was like, it'd be cool to see like an expansion like level thing going on.
Yeah. It'd be interesting. Instead of the slow trickle of content, one arena map every month, it'd be an interesting change up.
Well, yeah, just since they've been doing this and they've been awesome with it, this whole time, it seems like I'd be more willing to pay for it. I don't know. We can save this for like a topic sometime to get cast on as well, but
no, it's good. It's good.
Right.
So this week, we typically after we go through the news, we talk about Cat's Culture Corner. We have that great, glorious segment each week.
Fortunately, we are all lacking culture this week.
We are lacking culture, and we're also lacking Cat. So we can't have Cat's Culture Corner. So what we're gonna do, we really came up with some great topics for this week. We're gonna break the rest of this episode. So we're about 21 minutes in here. We're gonna break the remainder of this episode up into 3 topics, and as we go along, we'll kind of break down each one into a few different pieces and discuss it in depth. It's a bit of a departure from our typical format, but with so much happening in the news and really wanting to be able to cover all of them, we figured the switch would be good, and we'd love to get your guys' feedback on how this format works for you, if this is interesting or not. So let us know after you listen what your thoughts are. But to hop into topic 1, the big news this week, at least in the League of Legends community, really, I mean, esports in general, that's really what caught my eye and piqued my interest, was the bit of a Twitter feud going on between Meryl and Reggie Meryl from Riot and Reggie from TSM.
Yeah.
They were trading words back and forth on Twitter, had some really big twit-longer comments. They were going on and on about back and forth. Really interesting way to handle it, but that's not the point. They discussed a lot of really interesting major issues that really could penetrate through every esport. It doesn't matter what the game is. It's League of Legends, Dota 2, Counter-Strike, Halo. It doesn't matter what it is, as long as devs or publishers are controlling a game. This could occur with every single game. So I'm going to let you lay out the framework a little bit about what they were arguing about, what they were discussing, and really kind of what the falsities were that Meryl was throwing around about, the way team owners and managers are operating currently.
Yeah, and there's a bunch to do, so if I miss some stuff, just let me know. But basically, the whole thing started kind of trivially. It was Reggie was basically whining, I guess is the best way of putting it, because, I mean, it wasn't really even, it wasn't just him. It was him and a bunch of other players and stuff like that, but he's kind of a big voice out there, so he kind of got singled out. As far as they were patching the game and patching the pro scene game. So there's a difference. You can patch the game and have a different client that the pros use and stuff like that, and they do that sometimes. We're like, oh, this game's actually on last patch still, Mm-hmm. And that's an issue. Halo runs on a different build. Halo, the pro scene, runs on a different build. A lot of that's Xbox Live stuff and LAN parties, but so the issue is, before they just had the North American playoffs and championships last weekend. TSM ended up winning it. But just before that, they did a major patch to completely change the way the meta, which is like what they call the pro scene, the meta played. So the strategies they were using completely changed everything, the way teams worked and stuff like that. And, basically they used to do this thing called lane swaps that would change the way your characters would go into the beginning lanes and stuff like that. If you haven't played League of Legends, you have no idea what I'm talking about, so I do apologize. Basically, they threw a giant curveball and said, hey, the way you've been practicing for, the entire summer split, which is 10, 12 weeks, like the way you prepared for this entire thing, we're just going to get rid of it right before playoffs. And then after that, playoffs is now, and then Worlds is coming up fairly soon. So now you have to prepare to play the best players in the entire world on a patch you've only had for a couple weeks when you've been playing the other patch for a much longer time. So that's how it all started. Sure, that makes no sense that Riot does that, and I get Reggie's point. But it was more the fact that Merrill pretty much came back and was, after taking some criticism on this, pretty much was like, hey, Reggie, you shouldn't be saying this because he basically accused him of taking the money he made from League of Legends and then putting it into other esports, essentially. So it was like, hey, stop complaining about this, stop complaining about players and stuff like that when you're not paying your players what they should be paying and not putting money back into League of Legends, you're putting into other stuff. It's a whole big thing. It just didn't make any sense that he attacked him personally. Like he said, quote, he said, love me some Reggie, but if he is so concerned about the financial health of his players, maybe he should spend more of the millions he has made/makes from League of Legends on paying them instead of investing in other esports where he is losing money. That's what he went after Reggie for. It just doesn't, it's like a personal attack that doesn't just make any sense at all.
Yeah, sure.
That's how he starts it, It seems very petty on Merrill's part. And then he goes into talking about the patching stuff and like that, which we really don't need to, and just talking about how he wanted to change the game. He wasn't meant to do anything, blah, blah, blah. But it's the beginning part of it that's, ridiculous. And then he edited his post later, which is it's a cardinal sin, in my opinion. And it's like an, oh, shit, I screwed up.
Yeah, stand behind your words.
Right, come on, dude. So this then blew up into this whole thing where Merrill was getting torn apart by other esports teams owners and former pros of dude, you're way off base. And then Reggie came back and was talking about it as far as explaining how TSM kind of got started, how they made a crap ton of money off League of Legends, not even off the pro scene, how they made a ton of money off League of Legends in general, how they're grateful for it, how they love League of Legends, loves Riot, but that he started having invest in other esports teams, essentially, because League of Legends wasn't making him money and doesn't make the owners money around them. The way they have it set up, essentially, League of Legends it's run by Riot. The pro scene because that's who makes the game. The pro scene is completely run by Riot. They control everything from sponsors to how you place your sponsors, to if you can have a sponsor on a cup, to have what brand of beverage you have on your cup. It's total stuff like that doesn't allow for any growth for the team level.
It's insane. It's insane. Yeah. So I don't mean to interrupt real quick.
No, you're good. Go ahead.
But yeah, as far as sponsorships go, they weren't allowing teams and players to have sponsor you have a sponsor headphone. You're not allowed to show that logo. You're not allowed to use Logitech keyboards because the logos can show that's absolutely insane for so many reasons, because why would a sponsor even care to sponsor a team if they're going to get zero exposure?
Right.
It will scare every sponsor away. And then they're not even allowing any of these people to create any content outside of what they're doing playing the game. They are at the mercy of Riot.
Yeah, did you see the thing with HTC too? So the virtual reality, whatever company they are.
I saw they said something or said something happened, but I didn't read it.
So they'd sponsored TSM, and they wanted TSM to make basically a video where they're playing just a random game and talking about HTC and how cool it is, and how much they like it. TSM is the one who picked the game, and then Riot nixed it because it was showing a different game. It was showing the players playing a different game that's not League of Legends. So despite that, that's not a competitor in just about any way other than the fact that it's a game. It's such a broad thing of so that's, and they wouldn't let them do it. Then HTC is well, what's the point of us sponsoring them if, we can't even do this? There's no point. The company was pretty much saying, none. There's no point in us sponsoring a League of Legends team if this is how it's going to be. And that's terrifying. And it's almost and there's also with the revenue sharing and stuff like that, there's so many giant issues of how these teams are making any money at all, and how much the player cost keeps going up with all these new sponsors and as esports is growing. But the teams aren't getting much out of it. And there's no. We've talked about this before. There's no consistency with teams. There's no safety for team owners. You can get relegated in 6 months from now, and then just all that money you put into it is just gone pretty much. So, I mean, it's just really, and I think why we wanted to talk about this is it really blew up. It blew up, and it turned into this whole thing. And I think what me and you are getting from it is that it's a giant red flag for esports in general of how it's not secure in any way, how the way it's being run right now is so much the Wild Wild West. The devs are so much, they're so concerned about their own product, their own game, their own brand, that they're really not going to allow the esports to grow the way we think they want them to grow.
No, absolutely. So here, this is an interesting quote that I pulled from the article that you sent me from Forbes, and it's really interesting. Paul Tassi, contributor writer, says, I quote, "It's kind of hard to think of a metaphor for this, but I'll try. It's not as if Riot is the NFL, but instead an organization that owns the sport of football as a whole. And if you try to play it elsewhere, you will be shut down. On top of that, they pay the analysts who call the games. They reap through the revenue from broadcasting rights and ticket sales, and they have a direct hand in player salaries too. Because they control all of this, they also have a say in how sponsorship deals are used to some degree with players and teams. If you don't like any aspect of this, you can leave and simply not have a league presence at all." That is insane.
I mean, honestly, you took down, so we'll put the four major sports teams, hockey, baseball, basketball, and football. If you took the owners of those leagues, put them in a room, and gave that pitch to them, they would freaking laugh in your face.
Yep.
They'd like, "You want us to put millions of dollars into what? I'm sorry, excuse me?" Like, that would be, they'd probably assault you, actually, from being so offended. Like, it's ridiculous.
Yeah. It's insane. And I mean, it's a really deep issue, but like you said, without going too far into the weeds here, it really is it's the canary in the coal mine, right? It's the first one to fall, but this is really just the tip of the iceberg if devs, publishers, esports in general don't figure out a way to properly manage and run their leagues. And really, it is completely, in this case, completely on Riot to fix it.
Yeah.
I mean, they have ways that they can do it. Quoting from Reggie in his response, he says, they can share streaming and sponsorship revenue. They can expand and promote the sale of in-game items and share that revenue. They can create a robust merchandising program and sell team and player items in their online store. It's really as easy as that. It's completely on Riot to make this right. And it's one of those things where, please, 343 and Microsoft and ESL, if you guys are going to continue to run this, please figure out a way to do it properly and get your players paid and get the organizations paid. And
hopefully they're paying attention to this, right? That's what we're hoping, that legal, that 343, that Riot and the LCS and every partner imagined to do with League of Legends esports and all esports in general are just going to learn from this. They're saying the right things. They're saying, okay, that sounds good. We'll make some changes. Hopefully this is like a giant issue that can blow up, make everyone look bad, and then can get some change along with it. That's the hope. But I mean, it's scary for me because I always use League of Legends, and I've always, in this podcast, I seem a little foolish because I always use League of Legends of like, hey, this is what we want Halo to be. This is the sweet esports thing that works so well, when in reality it's not exactly how it is. Sure, it's successful in a lot of ways, but it's been declining pretty consistently for a while now. Not a ton, but consistently going downward a little bit, trending downward a little bit as far as an esports goes. And this just shows that there's a number of things that it shows how small esports is and its time around in the world of organizations.
I think that's definitely what it shows. It shows complete and utter oversight into so many of these issues. You just look at Meryl's response, it's like, dude, you are so out of touch with reality right now.
Right. And from what I saw, and I looked into it a little more, and a couple people, there was one article I read too. It was a former pro player and owner of a team who destroyed Meryl. I mean, just destroyed him. And it's just, I mean, I forgot my point, but you're you're a co-founder of an organization, and to have this stance on stuff like that, it just shows that you don't understand, whether it's your internal teams that are in charge of the esports division really not communicating the way things actually are with the co-owner. That could possibly be it.
Sure.
So it's something to do with that, or people need to wake up a little bit and understand that no one in esports is safe, and you really got to protect your players. You got to protect your brand. You got to continue to grow with it. You really got to be open and communicating openly with the owners, the players. Everyone involved needs to be constantly communicating back and forth to try to make this better, because otherwise it's gonna peak up with all this money from sponsors like Budweiser and ESPN's getting into it, and then it's just gonna freaking crash and burn, and it's gonna go back to the days where you're fighting for $30,000 world championship stuff, and that's just not what we want.
Yeah, absolutely. And this really leads into a point that we saw pretty much the day after a lot of this news broke, day or two, with former HBO Sports president being named the executive chairman of the World Esports Association. And while that name sounds like the evil empire of esports, I think it's an interesting ad, and I'm curious to see what effect this has.
Yeah, maybe it is sort of an even empire. We see with FIFA and even the NFL and every other league, and there's corruption. There's money, there's corruption in a lot of these things. The NCAA is a perfect example. They're freaking horrible. They're like the worst organization ever, and they have this huge billion-dollar industry. But it's it's maybe a necessary evil. Even if we're going to go with, hopefully they're not evil, and hopefully they do run it well, and hopefully they can get to where they are well run. They have the best interest of esports in general and all that good stuff. But even if it's a thing where they're making money off it hand over fist and it benefits them, it's still going to be a good thing for us and for esports in general, because I think and this kind of proves it, and we've seen it time and time again, there needs to be some sort of guideline and basis to go with, and some sort of organization overseeing all this crap.
Yeah, and even to that point, there needs to be somebody looking out for and protecting the players. So many sports have player unions. There is players associations for every single sport, and there's a reason. And so I follow a number of Halo players and League of Legends players on Twitter and other avenues as well, and a couple of them are sounding off about players, what are we they don't make that much money, especially unless you're freaking winning and you're the top dog and getting good sponsorship money, then you make a crap ton. But with their schedules and their scrim schedules and their schedules for showing up to places to do what sponsorship stuff they have to do and stuff like that, they don't even have time to do that. They don't have time on their own to go do a autograph sign thing for this sponsor and like that. They have to practice consistently, because the splits you
in this
need
pro
to be the best.
Yeah, you can't take time off. They just don't. They don't even stream, or they rarely stream on Twitch, which is the way a lot of them make money.
Which is sad that they need to have a way to supplement their income from their actual job. That they need to have time away from practice in order to go work a second job streaming to have enough money to basically survive.
Yeah, they're talking about it, how they're so grateful. These are top players in League of Legends when this came out. They're talking about how grateful they are to be doing what they do and how much they love it, how much they enjoy it. But man, they freaking they take your job that you just you do for 8 hours a day. We do it for 12 to 14 every single day. We don't get vacation days. The vacation days we do get, we're usually streaming it or trying to do something to better our own brand and our own business. There's no days off for them. And a lot of them are super young. To being able to having to make those choices and those sacrifices at that age is crazy.
That's a great point. This is a completely new dynamic, because you look at all those other sports, these guys are mid-20s, mid-30s. They are full-grown men, but
and they still screw up and are dumb all the time.
They screw up and are dumb, but the thing is, they are a part of this association that is looking out for themselves, whereas this would still be a players' association, but it's a completely different group of people. It's these guys in their teens, early 20s, making these massive decisions. And yes, there's no one better to be making these decisions than those who are experiencing it themselves, but there's a completely different dynamic if you have good old boys club, 50-year-old men who, these young kids don't know a damn thing. They don't know what they're talking about, and starting to kind of run the tables, if you will. So I'm nervous in a lot of aspects for that. Obviously, if there's legal involved, that won't necessarily happen, but it's a completely different world from traditional sports.
And it's so crazy to think of what these people go through, and hopefully, I mean, if anyone knows anyone who's a pro player in Halo or anything else, like have them chime in with us too, and let us know whether we're off base or whatever. But how freaking scary does it have to be, and how much pressure do you have to be under and stress when we look at Halo and stuff like roster mania and the ability to just literally drop someone at any time? Like, it's nuts. Like, you could just literally lose your job, and in order to keep your job, you have to constantly play and not really explore other options. And I think you got to do this from a very young age. I mean, you could work your ass off, get to where you need to be for Halo, and then your team could struggle, and you could be dropped after 2 months of playing essentially, and then you're just gone. And then like, what do you do then? It's got to be scary for them. It's got to be tough.
It's risky.
And I'm sure someone that's watching this is thinking, oh my God, they're playing a game, guys. Come on. But it's more than that. I mean, that's not. Like when you get to a point where, it's your livelihood. It's how you make your money. It's how most of us when we're 18 to 21 are, either in college or setting us up to do something that we want to do going forward into life. Like it's not, you're exploring different options of what you can do. These guys are just focusing on this. They don't have any of that other stuff going on. Like they're,
yeah, I mean,
like
a lot of
high school, like it's
crazy. They're putting all their chips in because
you have to.
You have to. You absolutely have to.
So it's crazy, and there's so many things that come from this, and so many different. And I think we've touched on a bunch of them, a bunch of the points we wanted to make and stuff. We've talked about a bunch of it before too, but it really is the wild, wild west, and we do need stuff like, I mean, hopefully this guy from HBO Sports can, get people to buy into what he's saying, do some good, and really get some guidelines down so we can get a stable product out there and see some growth.
I agree. So, on to topic 2. And this really kind of plays a little bit right into the first topic, as we were just talking about, with LAN events.
Yeah.
Allowing amateurs and pros to enter into the events. And the example that we're talking about, and if you guys follow pros on Twitter right now, the past few days, there's been a ton of conversation around Chattanooga 2050 that's coming up at the beginning of September down in Chattanooga, Tennessee. It is a 4-on-4 tournament put on by 2050 Esports. $7,500 on the line. That's not small money. It's good money if you get down there and are able to win. But the deal is, a lot of people were just finding out this past week that, hey, pro teams are allowed to enter this as well. So if you had hopes of, I mean, if you're an amateur team, if you had hopes going down there and having fun, if you pair up with a pro team in round 1, you're pretty much screwed. I mean, there's so many sides to this that we can explore, and I just want to lay these out real quick. Kind of the way I view it, at least. One being, if you want to be the best, this is definitely a mentality coming from some pros that I've seen out there and people that are really trying hard to be that way. If you want to be the best, you got to beat the best. And yes, that is a very logical perspective. If you want to be able to be in the pro league, if you have aspirations to be in the pros, you got to be able to beat pros. Yes, I totally get it. The other way I see it is it's an awesome opportunity to go have fun with your team, maybe have the chance to play a pro team and actually see what that competition level is like. Maybe you go home early, but it's all about the experience. Point number 3, you really just want to get in some great competition. You have zero aspirations to go pro, but you want to play highly competitive matches against people that are amateurs and potentially win some money. You don't want to go pro. You have zero aspirations. Maybe you just graduated college. You have a job coming up, but you wanted to go in and play these matches. You're really getting kind of short. You're kind of getting cut off a little bit in a way. So those are kind of the 3 different ways that I have kind of come up to look at this mini controversy, because it's not a huge controversy. This is a big way that these events have been run in the past. But as we talked about, with esports being in such an infancy, things change. And
in the past, I think is a key word too, by the way.
Yeah, exactly. Things change, and you need to be able to foster this community and skill and talent in a specific way and not squash them so quickly. That's kind of my outlook. What are you thinking on this one?
Yeah, I mean, well, first of all, I think the pro players that are kind of getting butthurt about this, I think is the best way of putting it. I mean, a bunch of people on Twitter, and I was just like, dude, freak off. Like, you're a pro player who, and I guess I would, there's pro players who are sponsored that you can consider them to be pros and stuff like that, but the guys that are in, that are playing up in the upcoming, fall split should not be allowed to be in this tournament. Hands down, Zero chance. Not one in ever. They shouldn't be able to. No, it's just ridiculous. Like you're in this league. You have your way of playing. You're in this. You're already in. You're already a pro player. You have tournaments. You have splits. You have all the stuff that 343 and Halo put up for you, and they've put up for you in the past year of this game. You've had plenty of time to play tournaments and anything else that's competitive Halo. We talk about this, and I hear so many people talking about the lack of LANs, the lack of smaller tournaments going around the area. This is rare, and people are super pumped about this Chattanooga thing, which is why I think they got so upset about the pros being allowed in, because it's like, sweet, this is our chance as like the littler guy to get in there, get some competition, play Halo, have some fun, maybe have a chance. And I mean, if you talk about a pro team, and like, you just don't have a chance. You just don't. Whether you're working to be a pro team and you're just not quite there yet, whether you're not even close to that level of competition, which most people aren't, and I think we saw that in the relegation battles too. The freaking pro players that are pro right now are very, very good at what they do. They are much better at what they do than the other teams. That's just flat out what it is. Yep. And it's ridiculous. And even if you want to be a pro player, and everyone they're all going, oh, you want to be a pro, you should be playing pros, you should be wanting to get better. Okay, that's great. And then I'll have my time and place to do that. But I also want to get my name out there, one. And two, like, I want to get better by playing people to. It doesn't help you to get just freaking smoke showed. That's not going to help you. Playing people at your level or a level a little higher than you will help you. Right. Going and playing. I mean, freaking our soccer team in high school going and playing the best high school in New York State and them freaking crushing us. What would that do for us?
You're not going to learn anything.
Anything. Like, that's just, it doesn't make any sense. And even if it's one team that gets matched up with a pro team and gets smoked in the first round and doesn't get a chance to, get themselves out there, get a groove going, see where they stand with the rest of the people. Like, that's one too many. And I think that if you're a pro and you have this attitude of that and the way that a lot of the pros have been, like, shut up. Like, freaking take a chill pill. You have a million different games to go play. You should be screaming instead of playing these people anyways, so go do what you should be doing for your team. I don't know. I just my opinion on it. I guess I get where they're coming from. If it's for money, if you want to play people, you should be, like, it's open to anyone, so the pro team should be all going. I just don't think, I don't know. I don't like it. I don't like that people, I understand why people were upset about it. I don't like the pros' reaction, essentially. I guess.
Yeah, I'm with you as well. I think, like you said, and like we were talking earlier, yes, there's not much money in this, so they need to they need to beg, borrow, and steal. They need to find money where they can. So I totally get it from that perspective. But at the same time, like you said, if you go into the round and you're like amped up, you made the drive all the way down there, and you pair up against any of the pro teams that end up going down there, and you get just blown out in 4 games or 3 games or whatever it may be. I mean, honestly, yeah, it's pretty. It bums you out, and you could potentially, for 343's sake, lose gamers. You could be losing fans of your brand that quickly because the experience could be that terrible for somebody. If you're naive and I mean, so many people probably are, but you're really into going out there, you've been practicing with your team, you're feeling pretty good, and then you match up against these guys and you get smoked. You're like, man, we're nowhere near being able to compete. I don't know if I want to play this game anymore. There's way more games that are fun.
Well, let's put it this way. Of us doing this, so put us into, like, me, you, Cat, and we'll put someone else, I don't know, we'll put whoever else is our fourth in this as 15, 16-year-old kids in high school. We think we're pretty good at Halo. We really decide at this point, hey, so say we're 14, 15. Halo's where it is now. We've had a chance to play it more than we did when we were kids, really, to where we actually think we might want to go competitive. We're busting our ass trying to get ready for this tournament. We go down there and we just get annihilated. I'm going to be like, screw that. Like, I'm not doing anything. Never going back to something like this again.
I got plenty of other games.
Yeah, I mean, like, right. Like, I'm not going to, like, just, well, it's just why, like, it's just not a good thing. Like, we have pro tournaments. We have, like, back in the day, this was the pros played in every tournament they could that had money in it, essentially. That's what made you a pro. This things, throwing up a free-for-all tournament. Let's go just be in that. This one's doing this one. We're going to go be in that. Now, like 343's putting a ton of money into the pro scene for Halo, and they're running it. You know, they're really into it. They're running it. Well, ESL's technically running it, but like they're, it's a thing. There's no reason for pros to be there. Like, they're going to pay more in cost to get there than they're going to win in the tournament, especially after taxes and crap. Like, there's just, it doesn't make any sense to me that any pro would want to be there other than to just steamroll people. You know, maybe they're sick of getting their ass beat by CLG and they just want to go steamroll people. Like, I don't know. Maybe that's what it is.
I mean, CLG isn't going as well.
No,
but anyway, no, I totally get it.
Like, Lethal was being a chode about it. Like, oh, we're not going anyways, but we should, like, if I wanted to go, I should be able to.
Yeah. I mean, like, come on.
Why? Like,
get over it.
This is not meant to be CLG level of competition. It's just not.
No,
you know,
you can. What you want the Super Bowl champs from last year to come out and play in a amateur football game just so they can feel good about themselves and stomp another team? I mean, that's literally the skill
the Arena Football League playoffs. They're going to go into those and then play those teams. Yeah. Like, right.
I mean, or the Canadian Football League. Like, it's just it's one of those things where it's that big of a skill gap for the most part.
No, that's a perfect example. It's an absolutely perfect example. It's like someone from the NFL going and playing in the Canadian Football League. Like, sure, they're both pros. There's money on the line in the Canadian Football League, but no one in the NFL is going to go play. You're not going to freaking – Drew Brees is not going to go start play. He's not going to go be quarterback in Canada for a team because he wants to work on his skill set. Like, and he wants to competition. Like, that's bullcrap. That's a perfect example, and it's why – any pro player is so off base with saying that they should be allowed in this tournament, and I think it's ridiculous.
Topic 3. Halo 5 Forge is coming to PC, and you can now play custom games on PCs of Halo 5. It's a pretty big step for Halo. I mean, the Forge is absolutely going to blow up. But really what's interesting to this, going forward, Halo 6 with Microsoft's Play Anywhere strategy when it comes to their software, it doesn't matter if it's on PC or Xbox, you can play it on either system. I'm starting to think, man, what does this do to the future of competitive Halo? I mean, if they have keyboard and mouse support, this could absolutely decimate competitive Halo on console if they do not support 2 leagues.
And if it's not separate. If the games are separate, that's fine.
Correct.
Like, if you want to have Halo on PC, have Halo on PC. If you want to have Halo on consoles, I know there's the crossplay, and they're going to crossplay it, but maybe do 2 separate matchmakings or something like that. I mean, like, I don't know. So, it's a horrible idea, first of all. The idea of playing 2 people against each other, one with a keyboard, one with a controller, is dumb and dumb and dumb and dumb. And it's very dumb. It's a little bit scary as far as you look into Halo 6 because a lot of the pro scene for games that are on console and PC, something like Overwatch is, but that's a PC game, so it's kind of hard to, it's apples and oranges, I know, but competitive Overwatch on PC is freaking huge, and it's almost completely non-existent on console.
That's what scares me.
That. I mean, like, Call of Duty's, I guess, a good example. Call of Duty's on PC too, but the competitive scene's for PlayStation 4. So I just think it's a giant problem if you're playing 2 people against each other, one with a keyboard, one with a controller. It just, they play differently. It doesn't make any sense. I don't know. I mean, sure, it's cool. It's on PC, right? Nah, I mean, it's
expand the audience a little bit.
But I mean, if it's like Xbox is gonna make it crossplay, they have to. Like, am I wrong here? Do they have to make it? Or if you're playing on PC and playing matchmaking, you have to have a controller plugged in. You cannot play with mouse and keyboard. They have to do that, right?
It has to be. It cannot be mouse and keyboard support unless you are queuing against other PC players. Which in the end, that doesn't really make sense either. I mean, it's fine, but I don't know if that necessarily makes sense either.
No, it doesn't. Because then you're still segmenting a group of population people that should just be together.
Right.
And like you look at Xbox and Windows are doing this thing now where the wireless Xbox controllers are going to update Windows to where they're going to be able essentially be able to read the I think off the Wi-Fi of the controller and be able to hook it in. So there's no reason, there's zero reason to have mouse and keyboard in Halo 6. There's zero reason. I don't know. If you want to do the campaign in it, sure. I think it's kind of dumb, but whatever. If you want to do your own LAN things with mouse and keyboard, sure, go for it. But as far as matchmaking goes, keep a keyboard. Keep a keyboard. Don't keep a keyboard. Keep it on the controller. That's what Halo is. That's what it's always been. I know Halo 2 played on PC, but again, that was separate, and that was their thing, and whatever. Like, it's just don't. No. Just no, I guess is my point.
I'm with you on that, man. I just... It would be a sad day. It would be a sad day for competitive Halo on console if they did.
Yeah, I mean, it just doesn't make any sense to me. Like, I don't know. And I never really thought about that, what Microsoft is going to do with their crossplay thing and first-person shooters especially. I don't know. It's kind of a little worrying, I guess. I'm actually not that worried about it. Then we started talking about it. When I was thinking about it before, I was a little more worried than now that I've articulated a little bit and tried to like say some things where it's just like, it just doesn't make sense to have mouse and keyboard. It's just like, it doesn't make, it's no, just no, especially competitive, matchmaking competitive, anything like that. Don't do it. They better not change the way Halo plays to accommodate mouse and keyboard more. Just none of that stuff. Just keep it the way it is. Halo is what it is. It's a console game. Awesome that it'll be on PC and that people on PC can then play with us and experience the game with us, expand the audience. Very easy to hook up an Xbox controller to your computer.
Yeah.
Just do that, and then we're good to go. No one worries. We're all good.
I agree.
Right?
I agree.
Right.
And that has been topic 3. That will close it out for the 3 topics that we had for this week on episode 41. Please, guys, let us know what you think. If you like that structure, if that's something that we should repeat going forward, get rid of weekly intel. We could certainly do that. But please let us know on Twitter at part_time_elite or send us an email at espawngaming@gmail.com. You can let us know what your thoughts are. Moving into the new challenge for this week, we kind of promised it at the top of the episode. And this is another one that was on the poll that we did weeks back. We asked you guys what you wanted the challenges to be. This was, I think, third. This tied for third, and it is to get 5 snapshots in a single game of Slayer or Team Slayer. That's all you got to do. 5 snapshots.
Yeah. I am excited for this one.
You got to get this one. You got to get this one quick.
I could not get the sticky one. I tried, actually. Well, I didn't really try. Like, I can't do it to myself where I just go out there for stickies. I can't. For some reason, I just can't do it. It's my last-ditch effort throwing it just when I'm about to die. Otherwise, I want to just outshoot people. I'm way too competitive to be running out there sticking people. Damn it. But this one I'm excited about. 5 no-scopes. Definitely think I can do this. And no-scopes, snapshots, whatever you call them. No-scopes is what we called them in Halo 2. So, I'm excited. I'm super excited for this one. I'm ready to go. Maybe 343 is listening to this, and they're gonna give us some sniper playlist this weekend.
Hey, there we go. I'd take that.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
Yeah, it'd be fun.
Then we'll know for sure that they're listening. Right?
That's true. So all you have to do, if you achieve this week's challenge of 5 snapshots, take a screenshot of the post-game carnage report, send it to us on Xbox Live, Twitter, or email us on Gmail. I do have to say, actually, while we were recording this, we got a tweet from Nameless Ghoul saying that he got the 6 sticks.
Oh.
I am looking at it right now, and I'm incredibly impressed. So hopefully he listens to the end of the episode to hear this. Shout out to you for getting those 6 sticks. We will give you that bonus point. We'll mark you down and keep tallying you up for that one. But I can't believe that he did that. They won too somehow. Let's see what his he went 14-9. So well I don't know who he was playing, but he went 14-9 with 6 sticks. So that is impressive.
It's amazing. I'm not even mad at you.
Well, I gotta say he was playing a guy named Tony the Mobster. So
I mean, you gotta watch out for Tony. You can't sleep on Tony. He'll come at you like a spider monkey.
He's vicious.
Also, by the way, remember days when we didn't have the post-game carnage report the way it is and medals and everything?
I can't believe we didn't.
Woo! Man, we take that for granted, don't we?
Oh my gosh. I forgot about that, actually.
I know. I was just thinking about what you're talking about.
It was so basic before.
It was not that long ago.
No. Oh my god.
So count your blessings, kids. You're lucky. You're lucky to live in the world we live in.
This is true, and that has been episode 41. You got anything to say before we sign off here, Matty?
T-minus 4 hours for me, Sergeant. That's what I'm going to say.
T-minus 4 hours. All right,
T-minus
there you go.
4 hours.
I'll be checking in with you, see how that one goes. I'm curious.
Maybe I'll try to switch it. We'll see if I can twitch it. It'll be midnight, but you'll probably be asleep.
I'll be asleep, but I'll catch it tomorrow. I'll see what's going up.
We'll see what happens. We'll see if my PC can do it. But
well, hopefully. Didn't you just get that thing set up?
Yeah, my video card still blows. So it's kind of hard to do that.
That's the next one. That's the next.
Yeah, it's the next one. That's that's my first present to myself when I get a nice sale.
There you go. There you go.
Yeah.
All right, everybody. All right, everybody. Thank you so much for tuning into episode 41 of DeltaHalo. We'll catch you all next week, same time, same place.
Peace out, guys.